Yes, you can start.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. I'm Anirudh. I'm a second year student. Thanks to Professor Vasant. So I'll be presenting on some important Banach spaces, which include LP spaces and BFS, which is a set of bounded functions from any set S to C. So before I start, firstly, as I mentioned, thanks to Professor Vasant for giving me this opportunity. And secondly, a shout out to Abhiram for going through the manuscript in detail and suggesting possible corrections for.
Maybe you can unmute your video, no? It's better. I mean,
a video, my webcam is of a very bad quality.
Oh, so you don't want to do that.
Does this make it better?
I don't see.
It's of very bad quality.
It's been smoky. I don't see anything. Okay, it's up to you. Okay.
Okay. So we'll be start. So as I said, the objective is to prove that LP is a Banach space, and along with it, I'll also be giving a couple of other interesting theorems about LP spaces, and finally move on to show that B of S is a Banach space. So let's get straight into it. So firstly, a normed linear space is a pair which is a vector space and a norm defined on it. So it's appropriately titled a normed linear space. And a Banach space is just a complete normed linear space where complete greater than or equal to 1 for reasons we will see later. So let's first take infinity. So let's first define something LP tilde of x, which for simplicity I denote as just LP tilde. It's just a set of all functions from x to c such that f is measurable, and the integral over x of norm mod f to the p d mu is finite. So we call this set as LP tilde. And similarly, for p is equal to infinity, we define L infinity tilde as a similar way, except that we want essential boundedness instead of a finite integral. So where we call a function f from x to c to be essentially bounded if there exists a positive real number m such that mod f is less than or equal to m almost everywhere. So in some sense, it is bounded almost everywhere. So that's the notion of essential boundedness. So turns out that this LP space is this LP tilde is not very nice to work with. The reason we will see in a moment. So what we do is we quotient it by a fairly simple equivalence relation, where the equivalence is given by f is equivalent to g if and only if f of x and g of x are equal almost everywhere. So it's easy to see that this is an equivalence relation, that is, it has to satisfy reflexive, symmetric, and transitive properties. So the space we get after this quotienting is what we call the LP space, and the same definition holds true for both one less than p less than infinity as well as p is equal to infinity. So now, as we said, for defining an LP space, defining a Banach space, we need a norm. So now the next objective is to define a norm on the LP space, and we will subsequently prove that the norm so we defined is in fact a norm. So on LP, we have the following norm from LP to 0 infinity, which is given by norm f is the integral over f of mod f to the p d mu whole to the 1 by p. And similarly, we define for p is equal to infinity, we define the norm given by the least possible value of m such that mod f of x is bounded above by m almost everywhere. So this in some sense is the same as saying the measure of the set where f of x is greater than m is equal to 0. So this norm is also called the essential supremum of f. So now a couple of remarks about why we did the quotienting and a couple of other general remarks. So without quotienting, it's one point to notice that norm fp is equal to 0 does not imply f is equal to 0. So this kind of becomes tedious to work with in some sense, and so this is one main reason for quotienting. And So just a little bit of intuition on when F and G are equivalent. So we say F and G are equivalent if F is equal to G almost everywhere. So just a small example. So if we take the characteristic function of rational numbers defined on the real number set. So this is one small intuition on why we're doing what we do. And secondly, we do not consider 0 less than p less than 1, because had we done so, the so-called norm which we would have defined, so it's not correct to call it norm, but the so-called norm which we would have defined would not have satisfied the triangle inequality. So that once again is not very nice to work with. And one final remark whose use we shall see somewhere later in the presentation is, if f is in L infinity, then norm of f of x, where this norm is treated as a complex number, since f is a complex function, is always less than or equal to the norm f infinity almost everywhere. So these are some general remarks about LP spaces. So before we move on to like some theory, let's do some examples. So the first example of an LP space is what is called the small LP space, where we take the domain to be natural
Sound is
numbers.
interrupting.
So it's just essentially the set of summation n is equal to, sorry?
I mean,
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there is a lot of interruption in your sound. I mean, it's jarring sometime. And is there your internet connection is fine or some other problem?
I can hear you fine.
No. Yeah, I'm not able to hear you properly sometime.
Oh, let me just.
I don't know if it records.
Take out my earphones.
I can guess what you are saying, but if it is recorded, it's fine. I don't know that. Okay.
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 Okay, I'll just try taking out my earphones and tell me how it goes. So is it better now? Any better?
It's much better now. Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So yeah, so as we were saying, so we just want to give some examples of LP spaces right now that we have defined it with a norm. So let's just take X to be this complex valued sequences. And so to define an LP of n, we impose an obvious condition that the summation n is equal to 1 to infinity of the
The sound has completely gone. Hello.